Hi guys! So today I'm going to be doing a rather late November TBR. I don't know exactly when this video is going to go up, but I have already completed one book for November, so we're just not going to talk about that one. But I have 5 other books that I plan to read this month. I'm hoping to read a little bit more, but we'll see how it goes. So the first book, which is also the book I'm currently reading, is Haunting the Deep by Adriana Mather. This is the second book in the How to Hang a Witch series, trilogy, duology, I don't really know. This book was just recently released and I don't normally read new releases, so this is pretty different for me. But I read the first book last month and I quite enjoyed it, so I moved on to this one. Since it is the second book, I can't tell you much about it, but I know this one has something to do with Titanic. And much like the first book in the series, How to Hang a Witch, which is about the Salem witch trials, and it follows a character who is a descendant of Cotton Mather, who was one of the people responsible for the Salem witch trials, and the author was actually a descendant of Cotton Mather. So in this book it follows the same character, and she is a descendant of people who had survived Titanic, and the author is also a descendant of people who have survived Titanic. So I think it's really cool how, even though it's a fictional story, there's some kind of truth behind it, if that makes any sense. This next book I have had on multiple TBRs and I have been reading it for a while, and it is Don't Look Now and Other Short Stories by Daphne du Maurier. This is a collection of 5 short mystery stories. So far I've read 3 of them. I read 2 of them like a couple months ago, and then I read 1 this month, and so I want to try and finish the last 2. As much as I loved Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, it's one of my favorite books, I'm not enjoying this one quite as much. I think short stories just aren't really my thing because you can't really connect with the characters that well, and I've mentioned this like in every single one of my videos, but that's a big part of reading for me, is connecting with the characters. Next we have a book that I'm not that excited to read, but I have to read it for school, and that is To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. I keep calling this To Kill a Mockingjay, like I can't help it. Every time I say it, Mockingjay just comes out. But I have to read this book for school. I don't really know anything of what it's about, but yeah. Next we have a book that I didn't get around to reading last month, and that is The Witch of Blackbird Pond by Elizabeth George Spear. This is a reread for me. I read this when I was younger and I absolutely loved it. It's a historical fiction book that follows a girl called Kit. She's an orphan and she's going to live with these distant relatives in a town, and she doesn't really fit in with this town, and she ends up befriending this woman who is known as the Witch of Blackbird Pond, and it's just a really, really good story. And then the final book is The Jewel by Amy Ewing, I don't really know how to pronounce it. This is a book that I have wanted to read pretty much since before I even started BookTube, but I just never got around to reading it. This is a dystopian book, and if I have the synopsis correctly, it's kind of similar to The Hunger Games in a sense where it's set up kind of like districts, but it's almost like an onion, where in the middle you have the jewel, which is where all of the like royal people live, and then in each layer they like progressively get poorer. And for whatever reason, the like royal people, or I think most of the people, are unable to have children, but they found that the people in like the poorest district can still have children, so they take these women from the poorer districts and basically use them as surrogates. So I've been having a really hard time lately finding books that I really enjoy, and I thought maybe it's the books that I've been reading lately I just haven't really been into. So I decided to go back to like the roots of my reading, which has always been dystopian. I love dystopian stories. I never get sick of them, so I decided to pick this one up, and hopefully I really enjoy it. Maybe I'm setting my expectations too high, but yeah. So these are all of the books I plan to read in November. Leave me a comment down below and let me know if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them. But yeah, that is all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!